Okay, bearing back with you here, covering all the latest and breaking news. The groundbreaking stuff, the important stuff, the stuff you need to know. And today we are talking about a TikToker who sells her farts in a jar. That's right, people. Here's a short 30-second sponsor, then we'll get right into the farts in a jar. If you think today's technology is bad for privacy, virtual reality will be a nightmare. Along with being addictive, virtual reality is perfect for tracking everything a user does, sees, and feels in the virtual world, which will all be used to tailor laser-targeted advertisements towards them. This is why I won't get online without VirtualShield VPN. Otherwise, my private data can be vulnerable to tech companies and hackers. I highly recommend VirtualShield. Obviously, they're a long-time sponsor of the channel, and they are just great. VirtualShield are offering 50% off this month, plus a free 30-day trial for all new customers. Just go to hidewithbear.com or click the link below to start your trial today. So Rolling Stone says, a TikToker made $200,000 farting in jars. Jesus Christ, 200 grand? Here's how she did it. Adult content creator and 90 Day Fiancé star Stephanie Matto was so committed to the business she sent herself to the ER, but a pivot to NFTs is taking the pressure off. I've got no idea what NFTs are, but we'll just go with it. So here she is holding apparently a fart in a jar, which actually looks like a shit in a jar. I mean, what's that? You see that thing there? That's a shit. The Marxist political scientist Michael Parenti once wrote, the essence of capitalism is to turn nature into commodities, and commodities into capital. Perhaps no one knows this more intimately than 90 Day Fiancé star Stephanie Matto, a YouTuber turned adult content creator who claims to have made upwards of 200 grand selling her farts in jars. What I want to know, right? What I want to know is what she puts on her tax forms, like where you've got to fill out like what's the nature of your business. Does she write, yeah, I fart in jars and send it to dudes, you know, make a healthy living. Yeah, I mean, has the tax office or the IRS or whatever it's called in America created a subsection specifically for her? There's like a tick box thing saying farts in jars. Anyway, this article goes on forever, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there's quite an interesting Q&A about these farts in jars she's selling, and so we'll go through some of the juicy bits. Although hopefully they're not that juicy. And that's the other thing. Do you pay extra if it's like a shart in a jar? Like if a little bit of poo comes out because she's been farting hard all day, is there like an extra tariff on that? Okay, so first question. So can you start by telling me why you decided to sell farts in jars? She says, for years now, I've been getting lots of requests from guys saying they just want to inhale my farts. And I always thought it was kind of a joke. I never took it seriously. I thought they were just blowing smoke up my ass. So I'd laugh it off and just let it go. But one day I was thinking of different ways of making money and boosting my income with my platform. And I decided to try to actually sell farts in jars as a joke. But then they actually started selling, so it kind of snowballed from that point forward. I mean, it's just one of my weird requests I've gotten. I get weird ass requests on a daily basis on my platform. What kind of requests? There's one guy who routinely pays me to make videos of me squishing my face, so there's that. There's one guy who has a uvula fetish, the little dangling thing in your throat. He pays me for pictures of my uvula. People have asked me for panties, bras or lingerie, toenail clippings, all sorts of things like that. But farts are a big fetish online. There's sites that are dedicated to that specifically. I gotta get onto this, I'll make a fucking mint. So I always knew it was a thing. I just couldn't believe that people actually wanted to smell my farts. Is there such a thing as fart spray? Yes, there actually is, and I purchased a fart spray just as a point of reference because I wanted to know what it smelt like and if it really smelt like farts. So I sprayed a little bit in my kitchen, just one little spray, and I swear the smell lingered for like the whole entire day. I had to open all the windows. It has a very ugly artificial sulfuric scent, and that's not something I would ever attempt to sell or pass off as a real fart. You can just tell there's a difference. It's kind of like the difference between fake maple syrup and real maple syrup. Yeah, you don't want to go pissing off those fart connoisseurs. They got their little jeweler's monocle, you know, those things that you look at diamonds with, and they study the molecules and they can tell whether it's legit or not. Can you tell me a little bit about the economics of it? Like, how did you decide how to price these jars at $1,000 each? $1,000 each? Good God. I'm in the wrong business. Any chicks out there who wants a big fat bear's farts in a jar? Hell, I'll burp in a can. I'll piss in a pouch. I'll shit in a lunchbox. Whatever the $1,000 and it's yours. Anyway, she answers, there's not a lot of products out there that are like this. I'm currently on a new season of a television show that's pretty popular, so I knew I could probably charge a premium. It was around the holidays that I was selling them, so I did offer a discount of 50% off. Oh, how generous. And I had a few customers who live internationally who wanted to order them in bulk. Oh. So I did offer those people bulk order discounts, but there were some people who were so invested in the financial domination aspect of everything that they insisted on paying the full $1,000, even when I had the sale going, so I just kind of accepted it. Yeah, these people have got too much money. Yeah, that's the other thing. What if they don't have that much money? What if they're like mortgaging their houses or pawning in their possessions or something to get these farts in jars? There's some really wacky people out there. What are the demographics of the people who buy your jars? Where do they tend to be from? Mostly it's the United States, Canada, but I do have a lot of fans in India, and I have a lot of fans in the Czech Republic, because I actually have a Czech background. I grew up in the Czech Republic. One thing I was hoping wouldn't happen is my family in the Czech Republic is pretty religious and traditional. And one day I got a phone call from my cousin like, what is this about you sending farts in jars? Oh, God. You documented your diet on TikTok, which is kind of where you grew a big following. What is the best thing to eat for farts? And what's the worst thing to eat for farts? I mean, if you're really looking to just fart as quickly and pungently as possible, the number one go-to is cabbage soup. I mean, a really good cabbage soup. If you go to a Polish deli and get their sauerkraut or cabbage soup, that is the best. There's also one brand of protein muffins, the Kodiak Cakes protein muffins, and they actually have a nickname in the fitness community as being fart muffins because they make you fart so bad. And those are actually good because they're low calorie, they're high protein. They make you fart and they actually taste pretty good. Not sponsored, but yeah. Okay, we'll finish it off with this because this is the most interesting one. So apparently she ended up in the ER from farting too much. So the interviewer asks, how did you actually end up in the ER? She says, I bit off more than I could chew a few weeks before Christmas. I had a lot of orders I promised a lot of clients I was going to fulfill. I was basically following my protein diet, the beans and the protein shakes. One day I really overdid it. I was feeling kind of weird all throughout the day, but it got really bad when I lay down on the bed that night. I had this squeezing tightness feeling around my heart, and it was so uncomfortable and it was getting worse. I would breathe in, I wouldn't be able to breathe in all the way because it would feel like a tightening around my heart. I also have a pre-existing condition. I am in remission, but I did for 3 years have a very severe case of aplastic anemia. So I'm always paranoid and overly cautious. I called up my friend, she brought me to the emergency room and I told them my symptoms. Did they ask you how it happened? I was also on birth control for the first time in 3 years, so I thought, maybe I'm having a stroke, and maybe that's why I'm feeling like this. They admitted me right away. They gave me my own room and they ran an EKG and did a blood panel. They asked me if I just started taking any new medication, if I'd changed my diet recently, and I told them what I'd been eating. And they kind of like looked at me. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't really mention the jars because I thought it was a little bit embarrassing. Oh, you don't say. I told them that I worked out a lot. They didn't really push it any further than that. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Farts in a jar, 200 grand, $1,000 a jar. Fuck me. I tell you what, if I can get a foothold in this business, fuck you and fuck your videos. Bearings out. But really, farts in a jar? I can't believe people are f***ing buying farts in a jar. Hell, I threatened to divorce my wife if she farts in my house, let alone a f***ing jar. Anyway, that was a bit of fun, just a quick one. I'll see you next time. Catch you later. Ta-ta, goodbye. Recession